Hey, I'm Aaron Jack, and we've got another awesome artist talk today. So, welcome for everybody just tuning in and tuning in later. It's going to be a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day already. We've got an amazing guest. I'm so excited to share our guest with you today on this artist discussion, creative discussion here on my page. We're just gonna get him in here in a minute here. How are you all doing? Ooh, tell me in some emojis how you're doing. We've got Juan, we've got Ulanov, we've got I'm not sure how to say your name. Mircea. You can tell me how to say it. So we're having an artist talk here today. That's what we're doing. That is what we're doing with the 624. Hey, 16.5, George. Do you like to go by George or 16.5? How you doing? Hey. Marcia, is that how you do it? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing an artist talk today. So we're just getting on here. We're waiting for a second, and then we're going to do the artist talk. It's that's how it rolls. It's a whole thing. How are you today? Tell me in some emojis what you're up to. What you're up to today. How you're feeling. Because that's what it is. It's a group discussion here with the artist talks. Well, while we're waiting for our artist, I'll tell you I'm working on my solo show here, and it's going pretty well. It's going really well. I'm really happy with how it's coming out. I'm happy with getting to share it online. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here with you, sharing, getting to talk with different artists. I'm gonna have to do that later because we're gonna have an artist talk. So I'll show you what he's doing, and then I'll talk about what I'm doing. But I will share about my solo show and all of that. So here we go. We're going live.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. I'm doing well.
That's good, man. That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Where
are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Georgia. I live right outside Georgia, right down the street from the Gone with the Wind house. So that's the town of Jonesboro where I grew up, and eventually I moved to Connecticut and then to New York City, where I met my wife, and had my children. Then came back to the town that I was born, but I think I'll leave again soon enough.
Yeah.
Sure. I love the town, man. I love everything about it. I always want to live off Main Street, which I do. Always want to be able to create art in the yard here in the backyard. I don't know if you can see it all, but like it's a pretty decent yard,
Oh yeah, let's see what are you have some art pieces outside, right?
Yeah. So I got this going. This is like a older piece, but it's still rocking. Then if you look down there, that's where my studio is. So I got these pieces. These are commissions. These are like old. This is what I used to do back in the day, the long door. And then I'm making another Bob Marley piece. I have this series called Sounds from Trenchtown, and this is the second one from Sounds of Trenchtown, and it's coming out lovely, and it's called More Sounds. So we shall see how it pans out, but the first one sold like immediately, and I was just like, hey, you know, like, got to make another one. You know, I feel like people are really connected to Bob and the Marley family and what they're doing. So I'm blessed to be able to create art. So I'm stoked.
Wow. So you're really connecting with like Bob Marley and some of the music and some.
I would say so. Like the music, that's not, if someone puts it on at the camp party, I won't listen to it. I don't want to hear it because I don't want to hear it because there's so many other artists out of Jamaica. My wife's Jamaican, and I'm American Indian, but there's so many artists out of Jamaica that you can listen to. So once they put on Bob Marley, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna listen to it. I really like Chronics. I've been listening to Chronics lately. It's really like dope artist from Jamaica, Spanish Town. He's really dope. But when it comes to legends, Bob is a legend. And so in creating the art, I'm not even listening to that. I'm listening to Fela Kuti when I'm creating it. So it's a vibe, and I can appreciate it.
Interesting. So you're kind of like playing this balance between like the different vibes and creating kind of like icon about like the icons.
The icons for me, I grew up in the 80s. So the icons for me were like the graffiti artists. And like Bob was a part of that. I was making Madonna pieces and Kate Moss pieces. They're a part of that 90s flow. Naomi Campbell, I still create those, and she's a part of that 90s flow. So yeah, it's a mix between like graffiti and just like fashion photography, because that's what I went to school for at FIT. I went to FIT in New York City, and it was really about like fashion photography and graffiti for me, man. Most of the graffiti on my pieces, like that one, NEA, that's my wife's tag. She was a pretty big influence on myself because she was a young graffiti artist and skateboarder. And around that time, being a black skateboarder as a girl was like a big deal. And being a black skateboarder as a guy for me was a big deal because at school, we used to get harassed. I used to get harassed at school down here, man, for like riding my skateboard. It wasn't until I moved to Connecticut in like 92. I moved to Connecticut in like around 92. And when I moved to Connecticut, man, really things kind of blew up for me, kind of changed for me, like I got sponsored for skateboarding by iPath and a local skate shop, Axis, man. And they just like, they embraced me a lot. And through that, I had a chance to travel and hang out with my wife a bit. And she really kind of put me on to like what I'm doing now, decoupage, kind of collage, kind of silkscreen pieces. She's the callus. She's the foundation of me even doing the work. So I saw my first painting on the streets of New York with her. So it was like a big deal, man. It's been a big deal, but lately I've been focusing more on my photography. I want to go back and shoot more,
So what are you trying to shoot in this? Because COVID is a crazy time. I put down my camera mostly in this time, like a little bit here and there, like some personal stuff, but I've been putting it down. But what are you shooting?
I think it's a perfect time to go back to what I was shooting before, which was nature and abandoned buildings, graffiti, of course. I think it's a perfect time to go back to that because everybody wants to shoot the marches and I can't breathe, and I just leave that to them. I feel like all those words are very strong words. So if you're saying you can't breathe and I can't breathe, that kind of correlates and goes into like what COVID's about. Like COVID is like, yo, you can't breathe. And like, I just don't want to be a part of like all that. So I try to go hiking. I try to ride my bike and chill with my children, go skateboarding and just shoot things that I used to shoot. They were always positive and they were always you know, I can always use them in the art, like if I want to. So right now I have a Canon 60D, but I want a Leica. I just want like a small camera that I can just, you know, take around and just shoot right away. You know, like I was shooting medium format for a while, and
Really?
it's just like it's too big, man. Like medium format camera, you're carrying it around, and it just came down to the Leica. It can shoot medium format quality. So I just
That
kind of want to go
M9.
back. Yeah, man. Yeah, I just, you know, I want to go back to shooting the things that inspired me in the beginning. You know, it's we're always going in a circle, man. We're always going trying to get back to what we were as children, just like innocent, seeing the world in a different way. Because as you grow older, and I'm a pretty, you know, I'm a pretty old guy. So as you grow older, man, it's just like, you know, there's pitfalls and sadness and hatred in the world. People, you know, they're trying to split us up with this whole COVID and race war thing, you know. And it's like we're not gonna get anywhere if we don't come together and stick together. Like the trick to this whole thing is coming together and being together, because we're all human at the end of the day. We're all bleeding the same blood at the end of the day. And you know, we got to get with it, man. Like my whole thing since COVID started was like unity, peace, and love. Like if we don't have those things moving forward, then we're in trouble. Like as a people too, man. Like black, white, like brown, red, whatever you are. You know, like whatever you're calling yourself these days, it's like human. Like people need to think about human.
Human.
So,
I
man.
I agree. There's a lot of artists on here watching, so I think that's a good message. You know what
Oh,
we're trying to do together.
yeah. Peace to the artists. Peace to the artists. Peace, guys. Like, I'm very grateful right now to be on a platform where other artists can see the work, love the work, and we can just love each other, man.
Love each other. That's a beautiful way to go about it.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that so much. Like how we need to, you know, what we need to speak from to be together. I think that's so important. It's so important in this day and age.
Yeah, I think we got to get with it. Like especially artists, because we change the world with the things that we're doing, you know. Like I had opportunities to do murals, but like you know, I don't want to do that. If I'm going to do a mural, I want it to be inside. I want to do like a club or something. You know, like I'm still with the gritty and the grimy. You know, like I leave the great mural work to my wife and eventually my children, because they do great work as well. And those, you know, those are my inspirations, man. Like Genevieve 713 is an inspiration to me, because she took me from nothing to something. And Gano Grills, one of my favorite graffiti artists in New York City. He's one of the best ever. Gano Grills. And I can just, you know, I can go on. Gordon Parks for photography. Even Richard Avedon. People give him props, but like, I don't really think they understand.
They don't really.
I don't really think they understand how
Fewer
good
people understand.
Yeah, I don't
Richard
really think they understand how great the work was. And I want to even say Spike Lee, man. Like Spike Lee, and you know, I've met him once or twice and spoke with him, but like Spike Lee, he was doing something that no one was doing in a time that it was like, it's like, yo, I can't believe he's doing it. You know, and like the imagery, the directing, like, you know, like these are people that I look towards. Belchaz, you know, even you, man, even you, what you're doing. Like,
thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm here for you today.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, it's good to see artists like you're working. You know, like I see it every time I see you post. I'm like, oh, he's working. Like, you know, and that's how it should be. Oh, love from India. We love you too, India.
Right?
We love you.
Love India. I love India. I lived there for a while. I love India.
Did you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I learned,
So
you know, I learned so much from my time in India. I just can't. It's hard to describe how much I learned at that time. I hope to go back and like be there again for a significant amount of time.
So you're trying to get back there like on some full time.
I don't know. You know, I was there for a couple months, and I'd love to go back there for a couple months here and there. Just I
Oh
met
yeah.
so many amazing people.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you know, it's just the people in the world and trying to, you know, and not trying, but connecting, you know, bringing
Yeah.
us together and finding that togetherness.
Hell yeah,
Uh,
man. That's
so
what we
yeah, no,
need.
continue.
No, you go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, I just think like it's kind of like finding that where we connect together, and I'm kind of curious how you started to connect together when you were in some of the different places. Like what led you to come to this understanding? Like were there any specific experiences that you'd say
Well,
in any specific places that really
yeah,
influenced you?
yeah. Shoot, that's an awesome question. Well, skateboarding definitely helped because like all of us skaters are like brothers. We're like brothers in a weird way, and sisters because there's a lot more female skaters, which I'm so proud to like say that. Uh, Also, where I grew up here in Jonesboro, Georgia, there was a lot of racism going on. There was a lot of hatred around the time that I was coming up, and uh, yeah, man, it was a lot of hatred and like pure like when I say pure hate, like you know they'll burn like crosses in your yard type thing. You know,
What?
like it's pretty. It
Seriously?
was I live in the south of Georgia in like the early 70s, like or later 70s, and I was still a kid, but like it was still like pretty bad up until like 88, 90. So like there wasn't a lot of I didn't realize until I moved to Connecticut, honestly, man. Like I moved to Connecticut and like my life like literally changed because it was like a culture shock. It was like I went from like all black high school to like all white high school. And so it was a super culture shock, but it was like necessary for my growth. And and then from there, like skateboarding happened really quickly for me. And then New York City happened very quickly for me. And then from there, I was just traveling around the states, all up and down the Northeast. Uh, a lot of Caribbean, like visits. A lot of Mexico and Mexico. I don't want to say Mexico City because it wasn't there. It was like maybe like Ocho, like no, not Ocho, like because that's in Jamaica. Um, I didn't go to Cuba. I went I went to Bahamas, Virgin Islands, but just that little bit of travel, man, really helped me like see that there was a whole world out there, and you can't get caught up into your small your small town. You can't get caught up into it because that's not really real, you know?
Right. It goes beyond the small town because we're beyond the little kingdoms that exist.
Totally.
That's what brings us together, I think, is to realize that we go beyond, you know, who are we outside of the little kingdoms that have come to create and all of that. And every little town has their own little things, but
Totally.
I think that's important as artists too, right?
I think that's the only way you're going to evolve as an artist. I mean, you have to travel around and see new things. That's why graffiti was so important for me, you know, because it's like if I wasn't traveling, seeing graffiti out, or even skateboarding, because you're artist kind of skateboarding because you're always looking for like that ledge, you're always looking for that handrail, you're always looking for something, and that's what kept me kind of going. You know, it's just like going to the museum and seeing like a small piece or a large piece. You're always getting ideas, and that's what you need. So yes, I think it's Manuel. He said travel is the best, and yes, you're right, man. Like travel is a way to evolve. If you're not evolving, or if you come to like a artist block, travel will take you strictly out of that artist block, and you'll be able to do your thing again. It's very important, like you said, and it's really important for you to leave your small town and your little circle and expand. So
Keep
I agree.
expanding. How did you
Yeah.
find it coming back to your circle or to like your town?
Well, I still wanted to to learn my family a little bit more, which is why I came back. And the reason why I had left is because, like, you know, we all have like our small problems or whatever. And I just thought that, like, if I ran away from the town, then like everything that I experienced here would, you know, would be gone because I left. And I saw that it didn't. And, you know, you have to come back and face your, you have to come back and either face your demons or face the problems that you had in your life. And so I came back to face those problems with my family, which I think I did the best that I could, you know. And now it's time to like move on, or at least move out of the town to start my own thing, you know. Like, you know, my family's here. They have a lot of land. But you know, it's time for me to, you know, I have a family. And so it's time for me to like go ahead and be, you know, be with my family and be or just do what I want to do in life now. Like, I thought I was doing it, but like something was always calling me back. So I came back and I felt like I dealt with it, you know?
That's beautiful. I think a lot of times, you know, we're called back to something. And,
Totally.
That, you know, that brings us to interesting places and how much we have to face while we're there to, you know, let things rest.
No, it was hard, man. It was hard in the beginning because I came back with a mind state of like, you know, like things have obviously changed. You know, like I've been like in great places, been in New York City for like 10, 15 years. Things have obviously changed here. But, you know, as you think things change, they really just remain the same. And I've changed a bit, and I'm going to continue to change, and I'm going to continue to grow because, you know, growth and change are, you know, like, isn't that the only thing that's really happening in our lives? Change? Like, that's really the only thing that you can kind of like count on other than like taxes and death. it's change.
Right? Change within ourselves is the only thing that we can really control there.
Yeah, that's it, man. And so realizing that like the only thing we have is change. Like I've changed in 3 years. I've been back for like 3 years approximately, and I've seen a change in myself. I've lost like major weight, man. Like I was like 260, but COVID brought me down to like a nice 232, and it feels good on my mind. It feels good on my thoughts, you know.
Wow. So you were talking a little bit about how COVID changed you in this time,
yeah,
like
man.
what you've been working on. I'm curious because I think this is, you know, it can be tough for a lot of people to like find their groove in this time.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are still afraid, you know. Like the thing was like when it started, I was like freaked out. I was like, oh my God, you know. But my wife was just like, let's go hiking. It started with hiking up mountains. So there's a place called Stone Mountain here, and there's some other spots that are really like great to like just hike. And so we started hiking with my children and my wife, and then just with my children. And then it was all of a sudden that like I needed to hike. I needed to like exercise. And then it became just like we're going out. Like, and then there's this garden called Scout and Grow Garden. They're on Instagram. They're pretty rad. And we just went and started volunteering and helping and giving back to the community, man. And like from just doing the gardening, we would do it like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just from that and just building gardens myself with my wife or just like people that needed food or clothes or whatever. We started doing that, man. And like, that's when everything started to change, like really for me in the art, because I was able to be inspired enough to make it. I was inspired enough to be able to like actually do it, you know? And that inspiration came from the people and giving back to the people and people giving back to me, because I can't just be like, well, hey, I gave back so much, because people were giving to me as well. Like just giving me a place and my children a place to come to. So that's what COVID changed that. And then from giving, I started to receive. People don't really get it. You know, like when I was younger and people were like, yeah, you have to give to receive. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, no, you just receive, buddy. You take what you want type. That was my attitude, but now my attitude is definitely, you got to give to receive, man. And once I was giving, I started receiving like commission after commission. And then I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is how this works. And it's crazy. I just received a text about a commission. She's just like, is it ready? Is it ready? And I'm just like, oh, I'm doing this live, but, like, that's what I like to see. Is it ready? Like, people excited about like what they're going to receive. So, so COVID changed a lot of things for me. The way I look at life, the way I look at people, and the way I look at myself, my family, and my friends, and everything, man. Like, what about you? What COVID? How did it change you, man?
Well, I started at first I was freaked out too. I think I went through some similar things as you, actually. I was just having a tough time, so I started walking, and I didn't go out for a few days, like maybe a week or two, and then I just started to pick up my pastels and then my pen, and as I put down my camera, like kind of thing, like I was like, oh, the stuff is getting canceled, and changed up and put down everything, and then started picking up the pen, and day by day start pastels and then ink, and then coming back to a series of portraits and reconnecting with like travels on the West Coast and people out there, and then started to connect with musicians and lives, and then I was like collaborating, and then I was like, oh, they could like interview artists and give them a platform, and collaborate with musicians and give platforms that way. So I just started like giving back in that way, and started walking every day, like miles every day, and just that consistency every day, creating, giving, what I can, just figuring out like what I can give. I think that's the important thing, is like what I can that also feeds me. I think that's the important part, is that the giving, finding something that can be given, but also it feels good to give that, it feels good. I can learn from you, and for me, like, that's the beautiful part, is that I get to give like you a stage, but also like I get to learn, and I also get to give that gift of learning to others who are listening.
Nah, I appreciate that, man. Like, I appreciate you even finding me. I don't know how you found me, but I think it's pretty rad. Like, I appreciate you taking some time out of like your day to like give artists a stage to say what's up to other artists, and like, because we're all going through like the same thing. Like, COVID just isn't on this side, it's on every side, and like, like, this gives you a chance to be with your family. COVID gave you a chance to change your eating habits and be healthy. COVID gave you a chance for a lot of stuff, like government was giving a lot of money, and I don't know how many people took advantage of that, but I know that once people start receiving that money, they start buying art. And there's this place online or on Instagram, and he's always going pretty hard. It's called Art Storefronts. And when I say Art Storefronts is going hard, man, if what they're saying is true, you can be whatever you want to be, basically. They're talking about artists are making like $100,000, and that's pretty good as an artist. Even 60 would be good, they're always online going hard, and I feel like that's what a lot of us artists need to do. Like, just continue to do what you're doing, continue to understand that you have a blessing, because you can create a blessing, being able to create and things out of nothing, because that's what we're just creating, things out of our mind. like, oh, I thought about this, you know? So people need to take COVID as a blessing and not such.
Yeah, Tiffany here. She said quarantine is the best thing that could ever happen to me. I've grown so much. It's crazy that it took a world pandemic to turn my life around.
I think I might have
Is my internet bad or?
lost it.
Yeah, is my
Can
internet the one that's going out?
you hear
I
me?
never know who's internet. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I just never know if it's my internet or, you know, or whose internet. Internet's a strange thing. You good? Can you hear me? Are we good? Let me see if I switch this up here for a second. No. Is my Oh, okay. We lost him. We're gonna get right back here in a second. Okay. Well, I guess I'm glad that it's not my internet. I'll just keep talking to you. So we'll just get right back here. Because sometimes my phone overheats. It's a crazy thing with this. Hey, thanks, Tyler. Thanks for coming. Everybody just say hi. Give me a little wave or something, some hearts or
All right. How are you?
Good. Sweet.
Can
Thanks.
you see me?
I'm glad to see you back. Yep, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, man. Sorry, man.
No. It's all good. So I want to check out some of your work. Talk about your work for a little bit, for a few minutes here. Sometimes I get so
let's do it, man.
sometimes I get like so into this, like I just want to hang out. I love just hanging out with artists. So what's going on? What's going on here?
Yeah. Here. Oh. Beginning, man. This was the beginning of like. This was the beginning of like the start for me, like going into like a pure decoupage collage, like, hey, I'm be doing now. Like, I was already doing. I was.
Mhm. I think we're losing some of your Wi-Fi here. We're losing a little bit of your. You may need to find this. Hey, Nancy, I can't hear you. Is that just me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Let's see. Yeah, we'll bring it back in a second. You know, it's no problem. You know, this is we're all here. We're all alive. That's what's important here, you know? We're all here.
Yeah, I'm
We're all
back.
alive.
Let's get back to it, man. Yeah, that
Let's
was
get
my
back to
first
it.
one, man. That was one of. Yeah, that was one of my first. That was one of my first ones venturing into like a different kind of collage decoupage where like I was trying to create what I was seeing every day riding through New York City with the walls. You know, all the walls had wheat paste on them, and it was like, what could I do that I'm already doing to create something that looked started? Naomi Campbell, I think that's Naomi Campbell, early 90s, and you know, I'm a real big magazine head, so the magazine at the top, of course, the you know, it was really supposed to be like a magazine cover. And like that's how I was looking at it. I was like, oh, it's a magazine cover. I've been with this guy. And the graffiti, of course, is it's Genevieve 713, you know?
How do you balance that with your photography, like online with your art thing? Because I just have two different profiles. Like, what do you do, and how does that mix for you?
Wait, how do I balance it with?
Yeah, like with
How
your
does
online.
the painting mix?
Yeah, for you.
Well, for me, I've always been an images guy anyway. Like at FIT, we were always shooting models. We were shooting models, and I hated it because I wasn't that guy. You know, I was like, I don't want to shoot models. I'm not doing it. So I would get like, I wouldn't shoot the regular model. I would shoot like other things and then present it as, oh yeah, that's right there, you know? And so I think they mix very well because this is what's going on in my head. You know, this is what's going on in my head anyway. It's beginning to change a lot, but like always, you know, Grace Jones, Naomi Campbell, who else? Madonna. Like Madonna, these were the people that were always in my face, you know, Felicia Rashard, like which I haven't done. You know, because she was like the Cosby Show mother. But Lisa Bonet, you know, Lenny Kravitz, you know, like these are the people that like, you know, were here for me. And you know, like people always ask me like, why are you always creating naked art? And I was like, it's the power of the woman. It's the way that you receive it. You know? It's the power of the woman and the power that she has nothing to do with like naked, you know? But people perceive it that way sometimes. But yeah, that's my first one, man. I love that piece right there. Someone I posted it. I posted it like 2 days for like 2 days, and after that second day,
We're here together.
oh man. So this is when I used to set up on the west side, Upper West Side, man. And this young lady came by, man, and she just had on her sunglasses, and I didn't think she was gonna do anything, but it just happens that tree right there was in our front yard, and he shot the photo of the tree, and we put on the silk screen, and shoot, man, I just silk screened it on, like, you know, this is the simplest that you're ever gonna really get from me, because it's just colors, enamel, it's acrylics, enamel, and a little bit of collage. And it's my nature piece. It's my second nature piece. I didn't make too many nature pieces at all, but it's
Not
my
yet.
second nature piece. Huh?
Not yet,
Not yet,
right?
yeah, not yet. And she came by and scooped it very quickly, man. It was like one of the faster paintings that I've ever sold. So
Wow.
yeah.
So what are you doing to sell paintings now? Like, if you might have some advice for some of the artists out there.
Well, I've been trying to basically just join, like if someone's having an art show or if they have a residency, I'm just going all in, man. Like I'm sending my work, and you know, it's funny because I have a residency this year, but because of COVID, it's been pushed to 2021, and it's in Mexico, and I might go or I might not go. But I've just been trying to join every art show, anything that's art, I'm trying to get in on it. And this shop downtown in downtown Atlanta was selling my work, this frame shop. They were selling my work, which is cool, but like I'm just kind of thinking about setting back up on the streets of Atlanta, because people are out here, man. Like people are like still out, and they're on the walk path. They don't buy it right on the walk path, but when they see it, it's in their mind. You've already grown a seed in their mind. And from there, I've been getting commissions off that, or just what I post here online on my Instagram. So there's way more you can do. I just, I'm probably doing bare minimum, but like once people get in their art bag, you just never know what you can achieve.
You never know. I had the same thing happen to me. I had an art residency scheduled for May, and then it's postponed. So
Yeah, man. But stay on it, man. Stay on it. My residency is for 25 days, and I really want to go. I just don't know where I'll be. I don't know if I'll be in the country or if I won't be in the country. So,
right? It's a tough thing. Yeah.
Totally is.
I know my face is kind of blocking everything. Oh man.
No, but that's cool, man. I freaking love the fact that you can do this. I love that you can do this, man. Yeah, I know. Well, that's Rihanna. That's so okay, you know what? So this was the first one. And then the Naomi was the second one. But the Naomi, I've never sold this Rihanna. This Rihanna is still with me. And this is the basis for everything that I've created thus far. So at some point in my life, Rihanna was like, she was like the new Madonna. People don't talk about like who was Madonna before Madonna was. You know, you can name, if you know that some 80s pop stars, you can name them, you know. But she's like the millennium 2000s Madonna. And who better to create something of than Rihanna? Like, she's always been my favorite, one of my favorites. And this was a great start to something that's grown. You know, my artwork has grown considerably. And I'm not talking about the Silkstream work, because the Silkstream work has a lot of collaboration with Genevieve, and even this work, even the collage work here, you know, Genevieve's tag is like it makes a lot of the piece, or even the Silkstream. You know, that's a lot to my wife. You know, we do a lot of collaborating. But this piece here, I showed you, or that you showed me of Naomi, it doesn't have. Those are just me, just seeing what I can do, you know. And so, you know, peace to that piece right there. And I really love that piece, and it's cool that your head's in it.
Yeah, so, I'm in it now. I'm like part of your art.
Yeah,
you never knew.
You're in the work.
You never knew until today.
You're in the work. Yeah, man. So it's rad.
I just keep being in it. I think you've got this thing. You put things in the third, and then and now I'm in the center of it.
I do, man. I do, and that's cool. This is a trip to Tampa, and with my homeboy, he shoots like strippers and porno stars, man. He's like the guy, and so we went on a trip to Tampa, and we all met some boards. That red board with Rihanna on the top, that board I was actually skateboarding, and the middle board is, you know, I'm a skateboarder by heart, skateboarding here with you guys, and I was just trying to make pro models, but like I'm seeing that like pro models can't be made this way. They're gonna have to be made another way. But these are pro models. As you can see, the tag is there. The tag is the National Endowment of the Arts, but the tag is also famous because Genevieve was the only young black woman painting in New York City at the time. Really hard, getting famous. But as you can see there, though, these boards are, I should have sent you the other photo, the one that's on my Instagram, because these boards are dope, man. Like I made maybe like 10 of these boards, and they all sold. And then the last two I put on a skate chair. So there's a skate chair on my on my Instagram, but now it's fully done. I fully finished it, and it has like arm holders and everything. It's a pretty dope chair. I'll probably I'll probably shoot a photo of it soon and donate it to the garden. But
So,
for right now, yes.
so I'm curious about this. You started changing up your Instagram where you put white and black borders around your images. What made
That's
you
it,
do
man.
that? And I noticed a change in like how people
Yeah,
reacted.
so in the beginning, Instagram wouldn't allow you to like. I've been on Instagram roughly since 2012, like when it first really kind of started, and they wouldn't allow you to like do certain things. So I would have to go to other apps to get things done, and I was like the white and the black borders. I've been a big fan of that since I've been in the dark room at FIT. I used to all of my dark room prints were the white paper with like the frame around it. You know, I learned that, and I just wanted to continue it. But yes, as soon as I started doing that, you can see a change in the algorithm on my page. You can see a whole change because that's what I was doing. It's once I feel like once you give your energy to something, then that's it kind of becomes you. It becomes like your style, and so that's been my style. And I won't, you know, I've been on Instagram a long time. You know,
You've
so
been doing it. I think I've been there also since 2012, but not with this account because I've got like 10 different accounts. So
oh, okay, yeah.
yeah,
I only have like I had one account before, which I was Carlesto624, but I deleted that whole account and came back with a new account and just knew that you know I had like I had certain beef with another that does like you know we were a part of like a big like I was
wait, we're losing you. I want to hear this. We're losing your sound. Come back.
so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
we're here back. We're back now.
oh okay yeah looks the same.
Wait, did we lose you? Wait. So tell me this little story
But
here. You with this other artist? Like
yeah,
tell me the story
so
of this other
basically,
artist.
okay, so basically Genevieve had a style of silk screen and decoupage, and she started a collective which was like me and like three other dudes, and all those dudes had like really great resources because they were like graffiti artists, and they had just been in New York City longer than me, you know, for me to like, you know, get my stripes, you know. But that kind of changed with like the Two Chainz album, and you know my graffiti on the cover of the Two Chainz album. I'm kind of
Well, congrats on
realized
that.
now. Yeah, thank you. But long story short, we were all her apprentices. Genevieve was the she's the one. We were just her apprentices, and through that, everybody went and did their own thing. But he feels like he owns he felt at the time. I don't know how he feels now because we haven't talked in a long time. We've grown a lot, but he felt like it was his thing, but it was never his thing. It was her thing. That's where she got it. That's where he got it from, and we all got it from there. And we all need to give her props, you know, and that's you know that's what it was. But like that's initially why I deleted my first Instagram, because like I wasn't mature enough to understand that like it wasn't about me. It was about him, you know, his ego and who he was. It wasn't about me. So you know, I came back pretty strong and just never stopped. I haven't stopped. And I won't.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah, man.
a good message to get out there, you know. Just don't stop. Just don't
No.
stop and
Yeah. Do your thing. Do your thing because it's your thing. So
right. Just keep going. Just keep
yeah,
going.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
No matter what other people's egos say.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Do your thing. I love that.
So
I love that message.
yeah. Whoa. Whoa. That's pretty cool, man. I didn't know you had that one, but yeah. So that's I don't know if we have peaches, man. You can go. You can. No, no. You know what? Don't touch the peaches yet. This is my boy in there. Don't touch the peaches yet. Just let me
Oh,
come in a minute. I'll come in. I'll come in a bit. All right. So just go and watch there in a bit. No, no. So this piece here, that's Gilbert right there. Gilbert has made many paintings with for Obama. This is a piece on the outside of a building in Atlanta because I guess there's a lot of gentrification going on in Atlanta right now, and they wanted to preserve their neighborhood, and so they took this building to create art pieces on the outside of it, and so I was definitely down for it, and Gilbert was just giving me pointers, man. But on that piece is Tupac Shakur, and before I could understand the greatness of Tupac, I was really just a Biggie Smalls fan, you know, because I was on the East Coast. But once learning and reading a little bit about Tupac, I started to understand that there was something bigger going on. There was something very large going on, and Tupac is one of my favorite artists of all time. I didn't do him justice on this piece, even though if you got close up on the piece, you could see there's a lot going on in that piece. But that's one of my favorite pieces because of Tupac, and because Gilbert, who's one of my elders, just showed me love. You know, he showed me a lot of love that day, and I just try to stay strong and still make great pieces. But that was a great day for me because of Gilbert.
wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Oh, you got this, man. You're good, man. You're so this is up the street from the 2 Chainz album cover. This is up the street from the 2 Chainz album cover, man. So this is a extinguisher tag. It's pretty rad. You know, I'm a graffiti artist. I don't want to, you know, get myself in trouble on here, but I'm a graffiti artist. I came back here to shoot this photo because I felt like it was important, and just me being a long-time graffiti artist and Rise being a part of like my whole life, and Rise being a part of like Atlanta scene or the Atlanta Falcons. You know, they use Rise Up. You know, like rise up, we're gonna win, and we're gonna be the winners. So, which is why you know, which was why 2 Chainz had even used my tag in the first place on his album because it said Rise. So yeah, man, these are just great nights. These are just great nights in the hood. Like, even go here. Some people can't even go to this part of Atlanta, but I can, and this area is being gentrified as we speak, and it's from hood to still hood, but you know, like, times are changing.
Times are
Times are
changing.
changing.
That's
Yeah,
the only
times are
thing that we
changing.
can count on is change. So
Yes.
what we
Remember
want
that,
that
man.
change to be, right?
Yeah.
What we want that change to be. That's the question.
Exactly. See, now you're talking. What you want the change to be, you know? And I mean, initially we just want the change to be together, all of us together, like moving as one unit. So we just have to remember that.
That's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
man.
What's going on here? I love this.
Whoa. So this painting now lives in Atlanta, but it used to live in a hotel. It used to live in Aloft Hotel in Harlem. And basically, this is a silkscreen decoupage piece collaboration with me and.
Did we lose you? Or where's our I don't know, Wi-Fi.
These are
Okay,
all
there
her
you go. You're back.
screens. I made the whole.
Are we losing your audio here? Tell me what's going on down there in the comments. I'm not sure if we lost the Wi-Fi, we lost the audio, where we're at here. Tell me in the comments what's going on. Is it mine? Oh, we're moving. We just can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can anybody else? What Okay. All right, we're gonna get right back in a second here. You can see the full thing here now for a second. And we're gonna be right back after a word with myself. Okay, cool. Thank you all for hanging out. All right, there we go. You're back.
Yeah, thank you guys. So yeah, man, it's just a bunch of just silk screens that she was cool enough to just let me do like my own kind of collage, and I just went crazy, man. And the last piece on this was the Apollo that I went and shot it, and then just I just printed out. I printed out my shot and collaged it on, man. But like the way it looks like it's on fire, or like the rust, I use rust to make it look like, like give this old, like, perception of like, oh, this is like old Harlem, because Harlem was changing around the time. But you have the Queensbridge, you have like I think the Time Warner buildings in there. This is old New York, which is what I was trying to make it seem like, old New York, like the gritty streets. And that piece now lives in Atlanta in an Airbnb home.
How do you keep track of all your works?
Usually the people, that's a great question. Cause usually the people, man, like they'll hit me up. They'll find me and hit me up and just be like, hey, I own this piece. Or there was a piece from like 2009 that I just left in the streets. Didn't want it, left it in the streets, man. And shoot, what was it? It's 2020 now?
Yeah.
So like 12 years later, this lady hits me up, man, or is it 12 years later, 11 years later, this lady hits me up and she's like, is this yours? And I'm like, yeah, it is mine.
What?
And she's like, well, I've owned it for 11 years. And then she just paid me. She paid me for it.
What?
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, man, this happened like a month ago.
What?
And she paid me for it.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
we have a minute left. We have 1 minute left. So
okay.
I want to, I want to give you some last words to just, anything you want to say to the people. I want to say thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Please go follow both of us up here in this corner, or after the fact, I'll leave a link. Go follow both of us. And thank you so much for doing this with me.
I appreciate you. Yo, what's up? What's up, the Love Hijack? You the God, man. Anyway, I like to say thank you to you, man. Thank you so much for having me. I like to give a shout out to Genevieve713. She's the greatest. I like to give a shout out to my children, Gordon Parks, Belchez. I really appreciate him. Who else?
We got 20 more
all
seconds.
The skaters here.
10 more seconds.
All the skaters here in Atlanta. Frank Morrison, thank you. Kende Wiley, thank you. And hey, Tiffany, thank you. And yo, man, thank you so much. I hope we can you can keep this, and we can just